So I've loaded up a different groove for this, and we'll take a look at how the compressors work. These compressors are modelled on an optical electrical circuit featuring a light-dependent resistor, which is abbreviated to LDR. You can switch them on by clicking next to where it says Optical Compressor, and as the link control is enabled, it turns on both compressors. I'm going to begin by setting the threshold to 0 dB and hit play. You'll notice if you look at the meters, there's a very small amount of gain reduction happening. This is because the optical compressor has a soft knee characteristic. As a result, it's more forgiving and doesn't clamp down on the signal like a hard knee setting would. I'm starting to lower the threshold, and as you can see, as I reduce the threshold, the gain reduction is kicking in. Now I can increase the output here to make up for the loss in overall volume. Currently the slope is set to gentle, so the compressor is working in what is called feedback mode. This means that ammunition is taking the signal and feeding it back into the circuit, resulting in a gentle gain reduction. As I turn the slope clockwise, the curve of the slope is becoming more aggressive, causing even greater gain reduction and compressing the sound. This effect is sometimes known as negative gain. When I hit slam mode, one gets the feeling of overcompression, resulting in an even greater reduction of the signal. This is what is known as feed-forward, feedback mode. Similar to a traditional compressor where gain reduction takes place at the output, but the output is then fed back into the circuit and mixed in with the original compressed signal. So it's a bit like applying gain reduction twice. It's a much more complex compression where the feed forward takes care of the limiting and the feedback is attacking the transients. So that's the slam control. As you can hear, there's quite a contrast between gentle and slam. To the right we have a response control, which has similarities to an attack and release control. By interacting with the light-dependent resistor, changes can make quite a big difference to the energy and impact of the signal. As a result of this design, the LDR has an inherently slower yet musical character. I'm gradually winding back the response to fast. So in essence, I'm setting fast attack time, resulting in less of the signal being fed into the optical circuit. Turning the knob clockwise seems to bring the overall sound of the kit under tighter control and into sharper focus. However, we have quite a lot of gain reduction happening here, so I'm reducing the slope to let the drum kit breathe a bit more. To the right of the response control is the comp mix control, and up until now we've had this set to 100%. So we have 100% with some compression added. If I back off the comp mix setting, we begin to hear a combination of the original sound and the process sound. This gives you the possibility of using parallel compression. Then you can mix the original sound in with the processed sound. Not forgetting, you can also tailor the signal going into the compressor by adjusting the high pass and low pass filters of the side chain. So this gives you many creative possibilities. The setting of the threshold is a very important factor in how the other controls interact. For example, if I set the threshold to -12 dB, only the signal between 0 and -12 dB will be affected by the compressors. Likewise, if I set the threshold to -18 dB, the range of the signal affected by the compressor circuit will be between 0 and -18 dB. Although the soft knee characteristic of ammunition means that the threshold cutoff point will be more flexible. As an example, if I start at 0 dB and gradually lower the threshold, you can hear more of the dynamic range of the signal getting fed into the compressor until I reach the maximum of -30 dB. Naturally, the make-up gain will need to be adjusted as well. So this compression setting is a good example of how one can use the comp mix control to restore some dynamics to the sound. By using the comp mix control, you can have the best of both worlds. Previously, I've been using ammunition in stereo mode, but there is another mode which I mentioned earlier, which is called MS mode. When ammunition is set to MS mode, it means the input signal is encoded as separate center and side differential signals. When I switch to MS, you can see the highlighted label changes from left-right to MS. MS mode is very useful if you have a mix which has, for example, a lot of bass end. This can sometimes cause a pumping effect which modulates the upper frequencies. In certain situations this may be desirable, although you may prefer the opposite, and this is where MS mode can come to the rescue. MS mode lets you treat the mid and side signals discreetly. You can then counteract these undesirable effects by using the ammunition compressors and filters. I've added some synth bass here to give an example of this pumping effect. So I'm going to begin by playing back something in normal stereo mode and then switch to MS mode so you can hear the difference. As you can hear, when the crash hits, due to the high compression setting, the bass is modulating the cymbal crash. So that's how it sounds in stereo mode. Now I'm going to switch back to MS mode. Notice the change in the stereo field, and also now the bass frequencies are causing less of a problem with the cymbal. This is because the sound is now being split into mid and side differential signals. Also, notice how the two meters are now reacting differently. The left meter is now showing the mid signal and the right one is reacting to the side signal. If I click on solo 1, we can hear just the mid signal. Then if I click on solo 2, we are now hearing just the side differential signal. You can also click on the control here to disable the coupling of the two compressors. Then it's possible to solo the mid signal by clicking on solo 1, and then you can adjust compressor 1 independently of the side signal. By clicking on solo 2, which is the side differential signal, you can maybe filter out some of the lower frequencies or make some adjustments to compressor 2. As you can hear, utilising MS mode gives you the possibility of many extra sound design options.